whoa. Don't scroll. Stop. Listen. It's David with the McCown Company. Don't you know that pre-deregulation, nobody bid on price? They bidded on value of the freight, the fragility of the freight, the density of the freight, the weight, the distance. Price was not negotiated. Price was standard. It was published freight rates, tariffs that were discussed and approved or rejected. And that's what they were. When you went to a customer, the customer had no say-so what they were going to sell you their freight for to be hauled. The shipper could not say anything. Brokers were clerks. They handled the clerical stuff, messaging, paperwork, connecting the dots. That's it. They didn't manipulate any money. They didn't have any say-so in the price, and they didn't take any percentages. They were freight forwarders. That's all they did. They had no place in trucking. We had mandatory freight rates. We had mandatory profitable wages. We had rules. No truck ran at a loss. If you think that's a good idea, if you can take your brain and actually look how we had it, how we have it now, and come to a conclusion that maybe we could take a little bit of the good from back then and get rid of a lot of the bad from now and have something that's going to be greater than it all ever was. We're in a position right now to make trucking better than it's ever been because we got 50 years of ICC and Teamsters data that we can look at and say, well, this was no good, this was bad, this could be fixed a little better. And we got 44 years of how the mega corporations and mega brokers have taken advantage, run us out of business, broke 80% of us and putting us out of business every day. And we can say, yeah, this ain't working. And we can actually take these two things here we got, and we could come up with something that's so good and so much better than trucking's ever been for our industry. Because that's all we got to look out for. That's what industries do. They look out for their self and their people. And they've made it to where the industry we have is so fragmented by law. They've gone to the extent of making laws to make sure that we don't get together. Because they know they've stolen our money. They've come in here and stolen our way of life. We can't even say that when we bump a dock, that's when our clock starts. We let our customers dictate our rates and our prices and our regulations. And everybody says, well, we don't want no more regulations. I agree with you. I don't want any more regulations wrote by mega corporations, mega brokers, and our customers. I want regulations that are wrote by the truckers and the carriers to make the trucking industry profitable. That's how America works. We have a voice and we voice our opinion. We all band together and we say, this is what we want. We want our industry back. We want these laws put into effect, and we want it law. That's what we got to do. So don't give me this crap about how bad the ICC was and how everything's bad. Everything's real bad. I didn't say we need to bring back the ICC or the Teamsters. I said they had some good ideas that kept trucking profitable, stable, safe, and respectable. Instead of opening the doors wide open. You know, like they say, yeah, it cost a fortune back then to get a truck. And you had to run, and you had to be a good truck driver. You had to offer a great service. You had to be respectable. You had to be clean, efficient, and do a good job, or you lost your job, as you should. And maybe we should make it a little less hard to get in than it was back then, but not so easy that anybody can go get a damn truck and drive that has no idea about trucking. We've got to find a median. And when you go to argue things just because you don't like me because I came up so fast on TikTok and I'm only a company driver, this is what is hilarious. When I start talking all this stuff and they can't get nothing to say, they say, well, he's a company driver. Why are you fighting against me so hard when all I want to do is make you and your family more profitable? I want to make your carrier and your drivers more profitable, their families more profitable, more money in your pocket. I want you to make money off of your freight and all the efficiency that you do after that to be a bonus. I want you to, when you pass away and leave this earth, to leave your family a profitable business, not a pile of debt. That's what I want for you as a driver and a carrier. So when you come in here and tell me that I'm just a company driver, I don't know any better, what are you talking about? Hello, quit trying to fight against you getting more money. Stand up with us truck drivers. Stand up with us carriers. The 80% of this industry that is screaming at the top of their lungs, we've had enough. We're done. And join us. And let's stand together. Quit trying to get on top of the hill and stand the line, shoulder to shoulder with all of us that are fighting. I did the math. We got a group on TikTok. It's a private group. You guys don't probably know about that. It's called We the Truckers. We the Truckers. 3J Trucking and Moonshine Express started this group, and we have 500,000 followers in this group. 500,000 truck drivers have banded together across platforms and put our differences aside and said enough is enough. We don't need leaders. We need voices. We need truckers that are going to stand up and pick up the phone. There's no presidents. There's no board members. There's just pissed off truck drivers that are trying to educate everybody else that may not know that there was a better way. There can be a better way, but it can't happen if you don't pick up the phone and make calls and make them every day and be part of the argument and the fight. This fight is not here on TikTok. This is where the rallying cry comes in, is on TikTok. This is where we're trying to rally everybody together. We've got a platform, we've got a Telegram group that can have 200,000 drivers in it that can talk every day, build their TikToks. If you come in that group, you make videos and share them in that group automatically shares out your videos. That's what it's for. We're trying to amplify each other's voices. And if you're not in the group, if you're not being amplified by this group of 500,000 followers, it's because your group is just trying to tear down other groups. So let me give some advice. If you're one of these groups that's constantly tearing down every other group, please stop. Please check your ego at the door and join us and lift up these other groups so we can lift you up and you can add to the 500,000 strong that we have already. How about that? How about we squash our personal differences and set them aside for this moment in time where we can actually change trucking and go down in history as the group of truck drivers that said enough is enough. We're going to educate drivers. We're going to educate them every day. We're going to be interactive. We're going to lift people up. We're going to have a voice that is so loud it won't be silenced.